Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bear Talk, and we're here talking about Noir, the new Bear Men of Color app or Bears of Color app,
right? Or gay people of color,
or people of color,
for people of color, same gender loving people of color.
There you go. We can make this as completely politically correct as possible.
As we can.
Just don't expect me to adhere to it.
Well, Noir was created by Lynx, which is on the video with us. So we're going to ask him some questions, and I'm going to ask some questions to the panel. And my first question to the panel is, what were some issues you were having with other dating apps?
You talking to me? Or
anybody who wants to answer?
Well, honestly, I've never actually had like the stereotypical drama that other people have had with apps. Like, you know, I do believe that people have their thing, and they you know, there are no fats, no femmes, and all that stuff. Yeah, that's wrong. That's bullshit. But I just never let that bother me. I just press on. You know, I don't make a big stink about it. But since I've been in a relationship for the past 9-10 years, I don't really use dating apps for the intended purpose of the apps. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm on it just to see the pictures, or if I might, you know, say, hey, you know, try to find some gaming buddies or whatever. If they're not, you know, I use it to actually make connections with people platonically. You know, so but I've heard all the horror stories. I mean, I know a lot of people who have been discriminated against and have been attacked viciously on dating apps because, I mean, you see it every day on Facebook. People say, you know, they'll jump on there and say, "Oh, you're so sexy," and then when the minute you get rejected, you turn into the most vicious person ever. And 9 times out of 10, that's the wrong number. I say more like 7 or 8 out of 10, it's a white person who has just become a beast and unloaded all kinds of racial, you know, viciousness on this person just because they weren't interested, you know, or they didn't unlock their pictures, some bullshit like that. And it's always that kind of stuff. So, but I personally never actually had any issues because I don't use dating apps for what they're for.
Well, I mean, I could tell you that I remember what it was like being single and using the stuff like, you know, using Manhunt and whatever. And it was strange because where I am, I'm in Boston. And everybody knows that, you know, tops are at a premium in Boston. Like, there really aren't that many at all. So people will flock to you like flies to shit. But that being said, you were a fetish or a tool. They didn't really care about you outside of that. Like, they didn't even care about you as a friend or anything outside of that. And you were really just there to be the penis that's missing. But what you would find is that we were the people that you could have sex with, but never the people that you would date. And then as time started going on, you know, I myself am in a relationship, and I've been in one for years, and I don't really do anything, but I got a lot of single friends, and I've done a lot of work in the space of dating apps and stuff like that. So I've been, something's up with your microphone.
Y'all hear that dinging?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's this Mac. I don't know how to even mess with this.
That's a damn shame because it's a Mac, and I mean, you didn't want to do it.
It's sending me all the old messages because I hadn't turned the Mac on in a minute, and so now it's catching up all the old messages. And I'm like, I've already seen them on my iPhone, and I've already seen them on my iPad. So why do I need to see them again on the Mac?
Because it loves you.
Clearly, like, bitch, have you seen this? Make sure you saw this.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm sorry, that was so rude. So go ahead.
Yeah, I know you rude and shit.
I know, rude.
But having worked in the industry of dealing with dating apps and everything, I saw a sad, scary pattern. And that sad, scary pattern was, first, it started off with people being downright blatant and just saying, no blacks. And that was it. Or no Latinos. Done. No Asians. Done. And that was it. And then once people started getting called on it, then we started seeing no blacks, comma, it's just a preference. People clearly don't know what preference means. But that was the next thing that happened. And then you start hearing the stories from people. Yeah, I can never actually get a real date, or every time I look around, it's no this, no that, no blacks, no this. And recently we've started seeing it with, nightclubs where they're telling black folks, I'm sorry, we have no more space. We've reached capacity. But white folks go inside and they're far from reached capacity. They've reached their black capacity is what they've done. But there's also the other issue of not seeing a representation of us anywhere. So we're not in the ads. And when we are in the ads, they're STD ads, or they're ads about abuse, or they're ads with us somehow being subservient. It's never an ad of us being in a mutually loving relationship. You know what I mean? It's never an ad with us looking happy. It's never an ad with us that is going to be sexless.
Girl, stop.
I know you are killing it. But, I would say that the whole thing is that I've seen it. I've been around it at clubs. I've been around it at just events. Let's look at bear events. While some people might feel, oh, I'm fine at a bear event, I don't let it bother me. There's a lot of people that it does bother, and we can't deny their experience. And people might say, well, we never told you you weren't welcome. You don't have to say it. Your actions speak louder than anything. When none of the advertisements say, hey, we really do embrace diversity. And then when you do see these ads where they're trying to be diverse, it's always, a white guy with a white Latino. Like, no, those are just two white people. One speaks English, one speaks Spanish. They don't give us any real diversity. And then I started looking at the stats. And on straight apps, it's very different. Straight apps, white men are coming out on top as most desirable on these straight apps, and black men are second. All the others are later, right? Latinos, Asians being at the bottom. Poor Asians, I feel bad for them, really. But then I started looking at the stats of the gay apps, and what we are finding is that white is at the top, and everybody else is so busy trying to get with white. What we are also finding is that there are people who are avoiding these apps now. So now you're finding less and less and less people of color on these apps. You're finding fewer Asians, fewer black people. So if you're a black guy looking for, whoever, it could be black, could be whatever, your pool is now limited. And it's been limited by that unspoken but totally spoken racism that we're seeing in, on these dating apps and social media, out in, bear events and gay events. Like, you go to the white party, and I get it, it's called the white party, haha, but it's not for the skin, it's about clothes. But you go to a white party and you'd be hard pressed to find a black guy, you know what I mean? And when you do, they are the top supreme of what they think it should look like to be a black guy or whatever, He's 6'5" and he's got arms as big as your head. And
the Mandingo fantasy.
Right. And that's what that is. Like, I definitely didn't want to make an app that was just for bears. I wanted it to be for all people of color. And so if you're black, that's here for you. If you're Latin, it's here for you. Asian, Indian, and if you're white, it's here for you. Just know that I'm not catering to you. And
are you by presenting them a buffet of chocolate?
If the chocolate decides it wants to go for the white chocolate, that's on chocolate's. That is on chocolate's conscience, not mine.
But what I see is, like Lynx says, when it comes to advertisement, they do diversity. Okay, here's 50 white guys and one black guy in the middle. Like,
right.
There's always at least 2 to 3 white people. I want to say white people, but I don't want that to be offensive. But white people to every person of color. So it's never an even number, and it will never be more than one black person to every white person.
Right. Or just have one person each race. That way everybody.
And
even if they do, it's always people who are racially ambiguous.
Mm-hmm. Right. You'll get a lot of racial ambiguity going on. I just wanted to change all that. it seems like it seems like everyone that I knew who was a person of color is having a problem. And much like us dealing with racism, and then we say something that white folks be like, oh, that's not happening. I saw that happening to these guys. They say like, this is what's happening out here. And there'd be other black gays who are more popular even going, no, I don't see that happening. That's not happening. Well, it's not happening because you're popular.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, what made you come up with the name Noir?
Noir.
Noir, excuse me. Sorry. Noir.
That's funny. I was thinking more or less along the lines of film noir, right? Black and white.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Shades of gray. Very obvious, a very obvious play on the balance of color, right? You got black people, white people, and everything in between. And that's kind of what film noir is, that whole genre, very black and white and gray. And, that was the initial idea behind the name. And, think about Pinot Noir, not penis noir, but Pinot Noir.
Actually, that would have been clever too. Penis noir. That would have been clever too.
Trying to make a dating
app. Exactly.
Okay, I can't go with penis noir for a dating app, but it basically just grew from that. The very idea of all these different shades in between the two extremes. So you come out with noir, and I couldn't really call it film noir, but just called it noir. It's what it is, and it's kind of a place where it takes from the 20s in a couple of different ways that I'm sure we'll touch on in just a moment.
Well, what was the design process of coming up with Noir?
Take us through your process. Like, how long did it take you to design? How long was the process from start to finish?
Oh, Jesus. From start to finish, it was 2 months, which is actually kind of short. Come to think of it. It's actually a short development cycle. I got it done in 2 months. So what we had was basically 1 month of straight up development. And I pretty much pulled up, stock photos of old black and white movies. And I pulled up photos from what people might think of contemporary, noir type stuff. And that's kind of where I got the idea for the logo and how it looks. The logo is kind of a mix of blaxploitation and old Hollywood. So if you look at the two, you can easily see old Hollywood, blaxploitation. I'm trying to take things that are going to uniquely represent us, because we all know and love Foxy Brown, but we cannot deny that those movies were blaxploitation movies, but we loved them and they became part of who we were and who we are as a people. So I wanted to kind of pull from that influence. So the app itself, I wanted to have a lot of grays, but with pops of color. And the pops of color, I wanted them to be colors that are associated with us. So I pulled up a dashiki and I started selecting colors. So the yellows and oranges that you see are pulled directly from dashiki fabric. The greens that you see are pulled directly from the fabric, while the grays that you see, I pulled directly from film stills of old film noir movies. So that's pretty much where the design of it all came from. And I didn't want it to be like everything else. You see all these other apps out there and everyone's a square. Well, screw it, we're going to be a circle. Why not? We're different. We are different. People treat us different. That is what it is. And when I was coming around to try to figure out what my main theme behind this was going to be, I started thinking about, well, first, believe it or not, I was watching Harlem Nights. Mm-hmm. And watching Harlem Nights got me to thinking about, just old, how we all have old knowledge. And watching Harlem Nights got me to thinking about something. And I think there was something on Facebook where people were talking, everybody was talking about the thing that was happening at that New York City nightclub where they weren't letting black folks in.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm sitting there reading this and watching Harlem Nights, and I started remembering, well, the black nightclubs from the 20s all the way through the 50s were very different. The black nightclubs in Harlem these were nightclubs where black people were catered to. Now, everyone was welcome. Everybody could come, but black people were catered to. They got to walk through the front instead of the back. They got preferential seating as opposed to sitting by the bathroom. They got the same food at the same price with the same drinks and the same service as everybody else. And that's part of what made these clubs an amazing place. What a lot of people don't know is that these black clubs were also the first safe havens for gay people. Welcomed them with open arms because the money was green. Nobody cared. And they were already different. So I want to try to create that same environment where when you first open Noir for the first time, what you are greeted with is a picture of two black men that look happy together in their clothing. That's important. It's representation. It's an image we don't see. That's important. When it came down to the ads I was going to put on the site, I used black couples because that's important. Right down to the default user image. We've all seen the default user image before. What is it? It's a white dude with a coif like that. We've all seen it. The silhouette, it's clearly a white man. We have no representation anywhere. Noir is that representation. And it's, it is going to be supported by the community. It has no choice. The community they've wanted it, they've asked for it, they're sick of being tolerated, because that's how we're treated, as if we're just being tolerated, to a place where, no, we run the show. We're here for us, we're here for each other. You want to come and play a game, that's great. You know what the deal is, though. You're not going to see Billy and Bobby on the screen. That's not going to happen. Your default user image is not going to be white boy with a coif. Not going to happen. The colors are not going to be the colors that you think are awesome, because you noticed a lot of these apps use very sterile colors in their actual everything. It's a very sterile looking environment, and it's like, that's not what we're creating here. If you want to enjoy not having people of color around, you have your apps for that. You guys have already gone and dominated those apps. This is a place for us. So if you want to come and hang with us, know that that's the deal. If you're a white person wanting to come, great, no problem. Just understand, I'm not worried about what you want. I'm worried about what the people of color want. Mm-hmm. If a Latino person says, hey, perhaps this should be added to get more people from I'm going to consider it. Black person says maybe this should be added to get a little more, I'm going to consider it. Sorry, if a white person says maybe this, I'm not considering it. I'm not going to. I'm going to give the preference to the audience this is for. If they want preference, they have their applications. Their applications have been out. People have asked, where are the gay programmers? Right here. Where's the gay version? The gay black version? Right here. Where are the black programmers? Right here. So I'm giving people what they've asked for. And the reality is that it's a community. We're trying to build it. It is ad supported, which is, if you don't want to pay anything, there's ads. Because these apps do cost money to run. Not just to develop, but to run. Because this has to run on a server, and I'm just me. You look at these other people like Grindr, Growler, Scruff. They have a corporation behind them.
Yeah, they've been adopted by a corporation.
Right. They've got teams of developers behind them.
They probably got a ticker on the stock exchange.
Probably. But what this is free from corporate media, which means you're not going to get the exploitation that you would be getting if this was backed by a corporation. But it's just me. So Noir isn't perfect. It really isn't. There's always room for improvement. And if the community, and we're talking the blacks, the Asians, the Latinos, the Indians, the whites, if they really want a diverse place, this is the place. And if they want to make it better, join, participate, chat with each other, send me suggestions, send me feature requests. All of these things are only going to serve to make Noir better. You can buy ad-free that helps, because if I don't have to spend 8 hours a day working for, Billy Bob, I can spend that same 8 hours working on Noir and getting that done and getting it ready. So that's the deal. That's what we got. We now have an opportunity to have that community.
Absolutely.
Hook up, whatever, doesn't matter. Use the app, make the community. We now have our chance. Their ice isn't colder. So come on over, join, and support it. Without the community support, we got nothing here. And at the end of the day, if the community doesn't support it, there's nothing left to say. I've done my part, Gay, black programmer, created something for us.
So if the community did have suggestions, how can they reach you?
Well, via the app, there is a link to the email address, and they can also go to the website, which is noir.savage-code.com. On the website, they can also go in and click on the question mark at the top or the link at the bottom that'll say comments, suggestions, and features. All they have to do is email it. That email goes directly to noir@savagecode.com.
Okay. For people who haven't beta tested, tell them some of the features on the app.
Well, I mean, I've got the app pulled up right here because I was one of the lucky few that happens to know the developer himself. So I got my little my chance
VIP.
to shine as a beta tester. And I got to say that I was with Lynx from the beginning, from the moment that that little light bulb popped in his head to do this. To now, I've been with him from the jump, and this is amazing. This is truly a work of art. It's for us by us. I think we need to support it, and that's why I wanted to be a beta tester. And I know there was quite a few things that I was like, "The fuck is Lynx doing?" Screenshot, Lynx, what the fuck? And I know I've heard him complain about working 16, 17, 24 hours a day on this shit and not sleeping. Bro, this brother did his thing with this, and we need to support it. And like before we even started filming, I was clowning at all these people who are just now jumping on, who weren't on him from the jump. Losers. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so from when you started, the first thing that greets you is a picture of these two beautiful men. I have to close the application and launch it again. Oh no, it was too fast.
Yeah, it's too fast.
Can you see?
Yeah. It's still fast because you're already good.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful picture, and from inception, from the idea to now, every step of the way, he has asked us, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Hey, we picked that picture. I believe it's in color because I was the one who
said it needed to be in color.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is as much a part of me as it is of Lynx, because I had a hand in making it happen.
But yeah, in terms of features, well, okay.
But in terms of features, like you have your global settings where you see everybody who's around, and then you got your local, which that's the little globe right in the corner, and it's everybody. And then you got your local, because of course I live in the fucking boonies, so it's only me.
Well, you have to wait until more people join.
So support it, y'all, so I have more people to talk to. And of course, you got your in-app purchases. This glares. Your in-app purchases, your ad-free, your subscription services. I thought this was kind of cool. Restore purchases. That was kind of
yeah. You got to hit that restore button. If what if you delete it? Just hit the restore button.
Right. What if you delete that? I did not think of that. That's genius. You got your terms of service and all that stuff, and it's like my picture. I look good. And then what is this feature? You swipe to the right and you flirt with somebody? Is that what happens? Right.
So like if you swipe to the right, it'll flirt with somebody. You swipe to the left, and it takes the flirt back.
That's that.
Shady.
Oh, shady. But so wait, did the other person get the flirt removed? Did they get a notification that the flirt was removed?
They don't get a notification that the flirt is removed, but in their list of flirts, you disappear.
I I did not know that. See, no one's flirted with me. So, but I just flirted with myself. So I'm okay. So that's cool. And I got my buddies on here, and it's all just really fluid. Like once you worked out all those kinks, everything just works. Just like there's you, and I was talking to this little message thing, and boom, all the messages we had back and forth that you can't see because
of the screen glare. Well, that's quite all right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great app. It's just a great app. Here, let me flirt with you. Boom, there you go. Feel special. I'm gonna flirt with that one too. But yeah, so it's but yeah, I just think it's a great app. You know, and I can't wait. I can't wait to turn it on and just see this entire thing just populated with people who are going.
I can't wait either.
It's going to be awesome.
So, I mean, less than a minute, I would say that if you download the app and you don't want to pay for something, click an ad. Just tap on the ad. We're good. For Noir, if you know, it's free to download. That's first off, free to download. It will have ads. That's how I got to make the money to pay for the servers and to allow myself to live and be able to do the work. But you know, tap an ad. It doesn't take much. You know, watch an ad, tap an ad, whatever. If you want to donate something because you just want to do your part, you just want to donate, you want that one-time donation, get the ad-free version. Ad-free is $4.99. It's for the lifetime of your membership. So as long as you're a member, your ad-free is there. You won't have to deal with any ads. And that's a good way to do a donation if that's what you want to do. And it also, you know, it frees you up. But the ultimate is going to be the memberships. You know, monthly membership, 1 month, 3 months, saves you money on the 1 month, and a year saves you money on all the months. So what you get with the membership is that cute little list of everybody, the global list. Let's see if I can actually pull it up. I mean, it's not a question of if I can, but... So that global list is basically going to be limited if you are using the free version. You're only going to get so many people showing up. And this is a worldwide product. So, you want to meet someone from France, they'll probably be in this global list somewhere. If you go to your local list, now as you see, I got 3 people on my local list because 3 people that I know in the area are helping test. But if there were 100 people around me, you would only see, I think I put the limit to 25. If you were to say, go to your favorites, you can normally, you know, have, I think 100 favorites, but if you were to get your membership, it's unlimited. Same thing with flirts. You can send an unlimited number of flirts, receive an unlimited number of flirts, if you buy the membership. When it comes down to the chatting, you know, if you buy a membership, you don't have to do ad-free. So these ads disappear. And it also increases the radius of your local search. So the local search starts off as a 10-mile radius around you. Like, so no matter where you are, 10 miles around you, it's going to pull up 25 folks. If you get the membership, it's going to go out to 100 miles around you, and you're going to get unlimited number of local people. So if you want unlimited everything, and believe me, that costs a lot of server to do. You want the unlimited everything, you get a membership, not a problem. It works just like a membership to Scruff or to Growler or anywhere else. It works just like those memberships do. But we also want to do other things. Like, I would love to be able to sponsor an event at some point in time. We have places like Atlanta where the Black community is huge. The gay Black community is huge. It'd be great to be able to go somewhere like Atlanta and have the funds to actually sponsor an event that's for us. So this whole thing, all of it, revolves around community support. Just join and use it. And if you find you need more people, upgrade your membership. If you find the ads are annoying, buy the ad free. Otherwise, if you're like everybody else, just keep using it. It's not, if you go to Growler, I think the local limit is something like 25 people or something. I think is the most you get to see, and even then, it doesn't go out past 5 miles around you or something like that. It's really small because I know that there's a lot more people around me than what is being shown, and this is on the free version. Right. So it's no different than these other apps. And if you were willing to pay for another app, put money into their pockets, why not actually put money towards supporting your community, building your community? This is what this is. This is our opportunity as gay Black people and gay people of color to have our own stuff and to not have some corporate white dude telling us what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what they say, you should always be the change you want to see. So I'm about to hit the buy button. I just bought the ad free. So
yay!
there you go.
Mind you already had the ad free, but thank you for buying it.
Yeah, I know I had the ad free, but I'm just. Can I have the moment? Oh God, I was trying to help a struggling artist. Anyway, yeah. So
I love you for it.
I made my contribution. I implore everybody else who has this and who hasn't gotten it yet to go ahead and get it. Those of you who know Lynx personally, drop that $4.99. That's help the brother out. He did this for us. Even some of us who don't use dating apps for what they were actually for, but still, it's something that the community needed. It's for us by us. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody else, thank you.
And if the iPhone version makes enough money, it will allow me to make an Android version.
Yes. So this poor creature James can finally get it.
Understand, it's like it has to be able to, if you want it with any kind of experience.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus like that. I'm sorry.
Poor
I love you. I love you.
See, I'm trying not to be rude. Well, but anyway, for people who have like some issues or they have, opinions or, ideas that they want to give you, tell them your website again or where they can reach you again.
Yeah, they can go to the website, which is Noir, that's NOIR, .savage-code, literally SAVAGE -code, CODE.com. And on there, they can hit me and send me an email with the link at the bottom or with the question mark at the top of that webpage. On that webpage, they can also watch video demos of the different things that Noir can do and how to use it. So that way, if they do have any weird questions as to how to use this app or what it can do, all the videos are right there as well.
And you also have a Facebook page for Savage Code, yes?
Yes. And that's facebook.com/Savage Code, and that should be Savage Code, all one word.
Awesome.